I never thought that at 34 I'd still be unmarried, living by myself in my Manhattan apartment, longing for something I couldn't quite describe. My career had taken off early. I had a strong position, a warm space to call home, and a lifestyle many would envy. But deep down, there was an emptiness, a quiet place no success could seem to touch. Malik entered my world about a year ago. He was just 19 then, a young African man with a quiet strength that set him apart. He worked in my home, handling daily chores with care. Always respectful, always watchful, but never overstepping. Unlike most, he listened when I spoke. His deep brown eyes held a calm understanding that initially unsettled me. At first, I hardly registered his presence outside of his work. He moved through the space like a whisper, never intruding, never asking for more than he was owed. But then something shifted. One evening, I was slouched in the living room, exhausted from the day, when Malik brought in a cup of tea. As he placed it down, our fingers brushed. It was a brief moment, but it stirred something warm and unfamiliar inside me. I pulled back, brushing it off, but something had changed. I started noticing him more. The way he moved, the quiet intent behind his actions. Not just as someone working for me, but as a man. His presence was calming. Everything he did had quiet purpose. He only spoke when spoken to, but when he did, his voice was low and soothing, filled with a maturity far beyond his years. One night, a thunderstorm rolled over the city. The power cut out completely, leaving my apartment in silence. I reached for my phone, only to find it dead. I wandered into the kitchen and found Malik there, lighting a candle. The soft glow played over his face, drawing out every shape and shadow. "You should sit," he said gently. "I'll make you something warm." I hesitated but obeyed, watching him move with a familiar grace. Outside, the wind howled and rain tapped at the windows, but inside, there was peace. "Do you ever feel alone?" I asked, surprised at my own question. He paused before answering. "Loneliness is sometimes a choice. We choose it, even when we don't have to." His words echoed long after the lights came back on. I couldn't sleep that night. My thoughts kept circling back to him, his quiet presence, his nearness. It made me uneasy. He was younger. He worked for me. What was I thinking? But something unspoken grew between us. Attention. Every glance, every fleeting touch felt loaded with something we didn't dare name. I found myself lingering in the kitchen more, staying longer just to be near him. One afternoon, I walked in and saw him rinsing dishes. A simple, everyday moment, but it stopped me. He turned, and our eyes locked. We didn't look away. I started, but nothing came out. He dried his hands and stepped closer. "Do you need anything, ma'am?" My throat tightened.
No.
The air between us crackled, full of something we hadn't said. My heart pounded. I could have walked away. I probably should have. But I didn't. Everything felt different after that. I noticed every glance, every subtle shift in his gaze. Something hovered between us, silent but magnetic. One night, I sat quietly while he cooked. It had become routine, me sitting silently, him not speaking unless necessary. But this time, the silence was different. "You always look at me like that," he said, still facing the stove. I blinked. "Like what?" "Like you're trying to understand something." I opened my mouth to deny it, but I didn't. He was right. I'd been trying to untangle these feelings. The way my heart fluttered when he was near, how he seemed to fill a part of me I didn't know was empty. "I don't know what you mean," I whispered. But we both knew I was lying. He turned and leaned against the counter, eyes steady. "Are you afraid of me?" His question caught me off guard. "No, of course not." "Then what is it?" I gripped the counter. "It's complicated." He nodded slowly like he understood. Complicated doesn't mean impossible. Those words settled deep inside me. That night, I lay awake again, wondering when I'd stop seeing him as an employee. wondering when something more had begun. I tried to avoid him, thinking space would help. But by night, I found myself looking for him. I found him in the study, straightening the shelves. He looked up. "You all right?" I stepped closer. "I'm not sure." He waited. "I've been thinking," I said gently, "about us." His jaw tightened. And I don't know what to do." He was quiet, then stepped closer. "Do you want me to leave?" The thought stung. "No." His expression softened. "Then stop pushing me away." I closed my eyes, steadied my breath. When I looked again, he was still there, waiting open. I reached out, touching his arm. He didn't move away. Instead, he stepped toward me, and the rest of the world faded. Days passed, and things changed slowly. The lines between us blurred. Glances turned into whispers. Whispers into small touches we didn't resist. It was dangerous, unconventional, but undeniable. One evening, I was on the couch with a book in my hands, pretending to read. Malik walked in, hesitated, then sat across from me. I couldn't concentrate. I could feel him watching. "You're different lately," he said. I looked up, feigning innocence. "Am I?" "Yes," he said, leaning forward. "And you know why." I swallowed hard, fingers tightening on the book. "Maybe." He smiled just a little. "Stop pretending you don't." The air thickened. I'd spent so long resisting, but being with him didn't feel wrong anymore. It felt inevitable. "I don't know how to do this," I admitted. "Me neither," he replied. "But do we need to?" I shook my head. "No. We don't." That night, I thought of all the walls I had built, and how Malik had walked right through them. He wasn't just someone who worked in my home anymore. He was someone I couldn't imagine my life without. But love is rarely simple. One afternoon, as we sat in the kitchen, the front door creaked open. I wasn't expecting anyone. My heart jumped. I instinctively took a step back from Malik. A voice rang out. "Nina?" Malik straightened. His face was unreadable. Nina stepped in, her eyes darting between us. "Hope I'm not interrupting," she said casually, though her tone was laced with meaning. I forced a polite smile. "Not at all." She glanced at Malik. "Didn't know you had help." He replied calmly, "I work here." Her eyebrow rose. "Right. Just work." I could see her connecting the dots. She knew me too well. After a short visit, she left, but something had shifted. Malik's jaw was tight. "She knows." I nodded. "She suspects." He rubbed the back of his neck. "And when others find out?" The question lingered in the room. We'd been in a world of our own, but now, reality had stepped in. I grabbed his hand. "I don't care." His eyes searched mine. "Are you sure?" "Yes," I said. "For the first time, I'm sure." But the whispers started quickly. Nina had lit the spark. Soon, I felt the judgment. Neighbors looking away, friends offering subtle warnings, strangers staring too long. Malik never wavered. He stood tall, refusing to back down. One night, I found him on the balcony. I sat beside him. "They won't stop," I murmured. "Let them," he said. "It's not that simple." He turned to me. "Then what? Should I disappear?" The thought broke something in me. "No, then stop caring what they think." I paused. Not because I questioned us, but because the world had made loving him harder than it needed to be. "I don't regret us," I whispered. "But I am afraid." He squeezed my hand. "So am I." But fear isn't a reason to give up. I held on tighter. The weeks after were difficult. Friends faded away. My world shrank. I kept asking myself if love was worth the cost. And every time, my answer stayed the same: yes. But love doesn't protect you from consequences. One day, my employer called. The conversation was brief, businesslike, but the message was clear. I wasn't being fired, but I was asked to take time away, a subtle warning. My choices had found me. I sat on my bedroom floor, dazed. Malik found me there. What happened? He asked. I looked up. They want me to go. His face darkened. Because of us. I nodded. After a long pause, he said, then I'll leave. Pain surged through me.
No.
You're not the reason I'm losing anything. I'm letting go of what never mattered. But I'm keeping you. His shoulders eased. You're sure?
Yes.
Because love isn't about pleasing the world. It's about choosing someone, even when it's hard. I chose him. I lost things along the way, but I found something greater. A love that didn't ask for permission. A love that stood firm. Not all stories end with applause. Not every love is understood. But I learned something true. Happiness doesn't come from being accepted. It comes from the courage to follow your heart wherever it leads.